welcome to another session episode of this live stream, Traveling Beyond Borders with Nnamdi. And I am the founder and the CEO at the African Women Collective. Today, I'll be talking about how African immigrants can contribute meaningfully to any community, right? That's what I'll be talking about today, how African immigrants can contribute meaningfully to any community. Last week, I talked about how community is the real green card. Like 2 weeks ago, we started talking about what to do while you're waiting, while you are in that process of navigating or your transition. When you're waiting for your paperwork to clear and all of that. And last week, I talked about the real green card being community, right? The true power of us and having success in the diaspora as immigrants is in community. We go farther when we go together. When you're immersed in community, there is a ton of advantages you get. Your speed is exponential, your speed to success, the opportunities are endless, right? If you're immersed in the right community, your community can make you. People say things like your network is your net worth. And that is so true. I had another person say you are going to be, your life will turn out the average of the five closest people to you, right? All of these things just emphasizing, the power of community. Even the Bible says, he that walks with the wise will be wise, right? And so it is still, highlighting the power of your community where you are immersed in. We last week, one of the things that I know I brought up last week was, the power of the networks that you're making within the community. I talked about mentorship and how mentors open doors for you. They become the shoulder you can climb on to get to the next level faster. But this week, I want to flip the script. You're right. What happens when we as immigrants don't just receive but give back meaningfully, right? Because the reason why a community is thriving or considered to be a thriving community is because there are people in there who have committed themselves to not just receive what the community can give to them, but they're also pouring back into it. All right. So how do we give back meaningfully? How do we make ourselves, useful part of the community? If nobody wants to have that friend who is always taking and who is only showing up when there's something to collect, right? We want a good and healthy relationship is when both parties are givers, are giving, right? And so how do we ensure that we're not just takers, but we also contributors when it comes to this whole conversation around, community, right? One, I want to talk about why it matters, right? Like I just said, communities thrive not only when one is receiving, but when there is a mutual exchange, right? You are receiving, but you're also giving. You're being poured into, but you're also pouring into that fabric of that community. What makes communities thrive is when you're not just taking, but you're also giving back, right? Whether it's your time, your skills, resources, right? But what makes a community thrive, the reason why you are part of that community is because people have poured in, people have invested, people have built a foundation, people have created meaningful things in there that you found value in, and you decided, I want to be connected to this. And the way to keep that going is by also not just being one who pulls from, but who is also intentionally adding value to. I remember when I did one of the most striking and amazing experiences I had was after I graduated college. And you have to go through your national service in Nigeria. That's where I'm from. And when I got to where I was posted, so the whole concept of national service, national youth service corps program is you are posted to somewhere that is not your home, where you are not from. You're sent there to serve your country for a year. And so you're doing, you know, community service, community development, you're involved in community development. You're posted to, a lot of the times, most corpers get to serve as teachers or do, different jobs that maybe even outside the scope of their training or their education. But the goal is at that point for that year is not necessarily you're not trying to acquire. We're paid minimum wage as a copper. We're posted to remote areas. So it's not a season of accumulation. It's a season for giving back, taking what you've learned and basically paying the country. But that's not even the gist I'm trying to get to. Where I'm going is in that year of me serving, one of the most powerful things I saw was connecting to well-established communities that had been there, right? There were corpus fellowships that existed in these different states. And so you go into a place where you know nobody, you don't know, you don't have any family, you don't have any relatives, you don't have anybody, and you go in for the first time for most of us. The places we are posted to serve, we had never even heard of before. And then you get there, and your first day on camp, you see these other organizations, these fellowships, this, and they are reaching out and looking for people who are aligned with them and say, hey, come and let's show you the ropes. Like, let's, and they're giving you information. And so by the time we're done with camp and we're going to our primary assignment places, a lot of us were already plugged in to these communities. We already knew where we were going. We already had a place to stay. We already had things around our primary assignments sorted. And I know some of the language might not be, if you're not from Nigeria, it might be foreign to you. But the whole idea is, even in this foreign location, in this new place that I've was away from home, people created communities that helped us transition and then set us up to also make our own mark, right? And this cycle was sustained by people like myself, right? So people who had been there before me, who were coppers like myself, who had come and created something and created this ecosystem of contribution to where we built this fellowship and then create a community that coppers can come in and be welcomed into. And when it's your turn, you are drawing from that, but you also contributing to it. So we pull resources together. We we pull talent together. We live in the same space. We stay in the same buildings. And it's everybody contributing to pay the rent, to do these things, to get involved in the community. And when your time is wrapping up, you recruit new members into this community to keep it going, right? And so we are able to build relationships, build networks, thrive. That became the lifeline for a lot of us. That was how a lot of us thrived and survived in that one year, right? It was just leaning into the community that we met, and then it's still there because we also poured back into it. We did our part, right? And it's sustained. That's how it's gone on for generations, for decades, right? And so that's what makes a community thrive. It is when everybody is there to not just to draw, but also to pour in, right? Contribution is so powerful, right? It's how you become a valuable member of a community. That is how you become you become an asset to a group, right? And you keep building yourself, right? There's so many benefits. I just talked about communities thrive when one is not only receiving, but when it's a mutual exchange. Contribution builds credibility, it builds trust, it builds influence, right? The more you give or the more you are able to give, you become a more credible voice within that community, right? It's like if you are active in your association, in your alumni association, right? You become more credible. People learn to trust your voice. People learn to trust your contributions because you're raising your hands, right, to say yes to doing things, to adding value, to lending your voice and your skills and your time. It gives you credibility. It builds trust. People within the circle begin to trust you. You are top of mind when opportunities that align with what you do come, right? And so that's people just want to, a lot of the time, people want to hide and just skate by. And that's not a very good place to be because you are invisible, right? We see this a lot with. I've seen this in churches. I've been in church all of my life, and we see this a lot where you see people who they miss service for one day and it's like everything is wrong. Like, where is this person? How did it's strange not to see them. It's their impact is immediately felt because they are not around, because they are not available. People miss them, right? Even if they've created infrastructure that ensures that things don't break in their absence, but they mean so much to that community that in their absence, it feels like something is missing because of their contributions. And in the same, still staying in church, in the same circles, you see there are people who can be gone for a month and nobody will tell. Nobody can, nobody would notice, right? And these are the ones who come and get upset, like, well, I was gone for 2 weeks and nobody even called me. Well, the reason why nobody called you is because nobody, like, you're part of this community, but you are not a contributor to this community. And this is again, it doesn't have to be financial contributions or monetary, or it's you're bringing something, whether it's financial is important, uh, um, skill, time, commitment. What are you bringing to that group? The reason why people would notice you were not there is because of what you bring. Like what your presence means is what will make your absence missed, if that makes sense, right? So it's how we build credibility, we build trust, we build influence, right? Based on how we contribute within the communities. The fastest way to belong in any space is to add value. I'm telling you, the fastest way to make yourself be add value. You come into a new community, you join a church, you join the African Immigrant Collective. The fastest way to make yourself belong is to find ways to add value. The more you add value, the more sense of belonging you have. All right. So really quickly, what are some common misconceptions around this? Some people believe I need to be fully established before I can give back. That's a misconception. You feel like, well, I need to be fully established. I need to be in a very good space, maybe because you're new in the country and you connect to African American Collective or your indigenous community. Let's say your state from the country of origin, they have an association where you're located and you join them, but you feel like, well, because I'm still navigating this transition process, I'm not ready to contribute yet. I'm not ready to give back. I'm not in a position to do anything. You don't have to be established before you can give back. You don't have to attain a particular status before you can start contributing, right? The reality is contribution can start small, right? It can be, again, a little bit of time. It might not be, you might not have resources to give, you might not have financial, contributions to make, but you can make out time. You can say, hey, what are some administrative things I can help with? Right? Are there other skills you have that you can bring? Are there gaps you see that you can help them with? Right? And it could just be you being an encourager, right? Calling and checking in, being vocal, being supportive of people who are doing work. Okay, so it's you can find ways to contribute from where you are, from the level where you are. You don't have to be in a you don't have to be set up perfectly before you can be a contributing member of a community. You can find you can start adding value from where you are. I'm telling you, it's every community thrives on the backs of people who are contributing, who are giving, who are consistently immersed and finding ways to give back, right? Finding ways to share. I have people within the African American Collective who they might not be able to attend all the meetings, right? But they are able to say, hey, I can help you with this. Last week, someone called us and said, well, I need, I'm good at this thing, and I noticed that you guys, this part is slacking. Yeah, or there's a gap here, and I'm trying to I've been looking for ways to get involved. I think I can help here. And we had a meeting and they broke down, how different ways and what they're able to do, right? They reached out and said, hey, let me get plugged in. I've seen this gap and I can help here. I might not be able to attend all the meetings. I might not be able to do all of this, but I can help you in this area. All right. So that's how the community grows. That's how it's built. All right. So let's talk about quickly 4 ways African immigrants can contribute, right? And I want to break this down for us. The first way we can contribute is through cultural wealth. Cultural wealth. And again, I'm just giving generic. These are in no ways restricting. Eventually, you'll find what works. You'll find you'll find what works in your situation, what's ideal for you, and implement that, but this is just giving us categories that we can start giving us something to think about, basically. So cultural wealth, right? And that's sharing traditions, stories, perspectives, things that help enrich the community's diversity, right? That's one way to contribute. So whether it's, oh, okay, I'm going to prepare some food from where I'm from, right? The last mixer we had, there was one of our people who she prepared, Cameroonian food, and she brought it, and it was exciting. We had a blast. It just her bringing food changed the complexity of the whole event, right? So whether it's food, whether it's music, you know, coordinating to create festivals and experiences that bring people together. That's one way you can. Another way is through professional expertise, right? A lot of us, and this is one I want to challenge all of us, because for most immigrants coming to the United States, especially, we come with a level of professional experience or some level of education, right? Don't sit on that. A lot of us are come here on the platform to do our masters. That means you already did your bachelor's degree. Many of us, that's how we came. Or you're coming to do your bachelor's, or maybe you already done masters and then now you're moving. You probably even have some professional experience, and you're moving because of your family. You want your kids to get a better whatever it is. A lot of the time we come here with a level of expertise. This is one way we can contribute, right? It is through bringing your knowledge, your experience, and using that to help, using that, bringing that as a way to contribute, right? You're an African in tech. Bring your expertise, right? And can you be a mentor? Can you do workshops? Can you share your experience? Like here in the collective, we have our weekly masterclass series, and we have almost 30 different knowledge partners. And all these people do is every Saturday there is somebody who is coming at no cost, or at no cost to the collective. This people bring their expertise, bring their experience, and they teach what they have done, they have experience in. And people come together and they ask questions. And I'm telling you, people are being inspired on a daily basis, right, by others who are willing to lend their expertise. So don't sit on the knowledge you have. You are in the medical space, bring your knowledge. You are in the legal space. Today, more than ever before, we need you, right? Immigration is crazy right now. Bring all of your knowledge, be that knowledge broker of sorts, and lend that to the community. Okay, whether you're in healthcare, you are in entrepreneurship, what is lacking, right? Where are those areas where people might be making mistakes or not doing it, and you're able to educate and help them? Then don't hold back, don't withhold your knowledge. Another area where we can get involved is community service and mentorship. I've talked about this a little bit. Volunteer, right? Volunteer. This is where you bring your time. Volunteer, raise your hand to give something, volunteer, mentor younger immigrants. Again, like I said, a lot of our people come in. You've gone through the F1 to H1 to green card. If you've gone through the process, you're doing well now. What would the younger version of yourself have needed? Be that to somebody else, right? That's something we were really trying to create a system for, okay, to ensure that, hey, for people who are navigating their journey, who are just starting, right? Next year, we're launching, our catalyst programs, and it's targeted at sevens. We have a program that's targeting this particular demographics of people who are young and new immigrants, right? To ensure that they start on the right footing, right? They have that, they have that infrastructure, those resources and everything to do well and thrive, right? So it's something just find ways to volunteer. Your community is doing events and programs. How can you help? Right? It's everything we've done at the collective has been powered by volunteers. It's people saying, hey, how can we help? We have people who just say, you know what, I'm going to call schools. I'm going to call these people. I'm going to introduce you to people, introduce you to my friends. I'm going to introduce you to people that might be able to help you in this areas. People suggest speakers, and bring different, like everything we've done has been people bringing, it's so people powered, it blows my mind, right? And so Find where you are strong and volunteer. Be a mentor, right? Let's, what other organizations can we add to, right? You don't have to have wealth to contribute, right? You have wisdom to give, you have knowledge to give, you might have time to give, right? You have skills to contribute. All right. Another way is through bridge building and advocacy, right? Being a connector across cultures, across communities, uh, um, helping others understand different perspectives, breaking stereotypes, right? One of the things we're trying to push is ensuring that we're reaching beyond just our African communities, right? And even beyond other Black immigrant communities, just other immigrant communities, other African American communities, and immersing them in who we are, right? Getting to see that, and then also getting our people to also see them and understand the country from their perspective, right? There are things that we can build on and advocate for, and it's so powerful. And again, these are opportunities that we have to really be contributors. My whole conversation today is around how we can contribute meaningfully in any community. You need to, we need to be intentional about not just being plugged in, but being contributors to the conversation, being contributors to our communities, that's how we build, that's how we become a strong force, that's how we become relevant. All right. So my challenge to us, think of this like your next steps. Ask yourself, where can I serve right now? Right? Are you immersed in any communities? How can I get plugged in? If you're not, I invite you again, no matter where you are, you can be a part of the African American Collective. But again, which ones are aligned with where you are? Where are you connected to? And in that community, how can I serve? What can I give? Right? What can I do to add value? Ask yourself, what skills can I offer to my workplace, to my church, to my neighborhood? Right, to the associations that I'm part of, what skills can I offer? And then ask yourself, who can I mentor? Right? Who can I mentor? Who can I support behind me? Who can I, like, this is intentional value adding. How can I do this and give back? Right? So ask yourselves, and then pick one of these areas. So where can I serve? What skills can I offer? Who can I mentor? Pick one of this. And then this week, I need you to intentionally give back. And I want you to come back to this conversation, come back to this live stream, come back to this recording, and put in the chats and let me know. Let us know how you've done, how you've plugged in, following one of the steps. All right. Again, as I wrap this whole conversation up, it's important. I want to emphasize, and I can't overemphasize this. We have to be contributors, right? We have to contributors. Your contribution deepens belonging. You feel that sense of belonging when you're a contributor. It amplifies opportunities for you, right? And again, remember, we last week we started talking about community being the new green card. The reason why community can be that thing that basically is like gasoline on the fire of our stay and our thriving in this new home country is when everyone is a contributor. It's community becomes meaningful when everybody is giving, when everybody is pouring into it, and suddenly there's this synergistic effect and rapid explosion, and meaningful transformations. We create an ecosystem for meaningful transformations when everybody who is part of the community is an active contributor, right? It keeps you open, it builds opportunities for others, right? So I've said quite a bit. Please share in the chat what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you and how you are planning or how you're contributing to your own community, how you're contributing meaningfully to the communities you're a part of. For everyone, I want to quickly highlight we are having our first Advocacy and Policy Summit in October 25th. We're going to link the invitation in in the description. Please register. It's a hybrid event. If you're in Atlanta, you can attend in person. You can be a part of us. We'd love to connect and network with you. If you're not based in Atlanta and you still want to be a part of it, there is going to be an online component as well. So go ahead and register. Would love, love, love to connect with you. We'd love for it's going to be a powerful event. We're bringing elected officials, we're bringing people in the legal practice, we're bringing immigration experts. And the whole idea is we want to start immersing ourselves in advocacy and policy and advocating for ourselves and being a part of the process, right? That affects how we live. We need to be a part of the contributions or a part of the conversations, rather. All right. So please get involved, join the African American Collective, join our community, join our circle platform, and get involved. Find out how you can get plugged in. All right. I invite you to come and be part of what we're building. It takes all of us to make a difference. All right. You get plugged in with a mission aligned organization that is trying to make a difference. That's my call to action for you, and sign up for our advocacy conference October 25th. I'm looking forward to seeing you.